All right, what's going on, guys? It's been a few weeks since Car Talk. We are back home meaning my parents' house. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just pulling out here. Just got done doing some fasted cardio. But yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, last time I pretty much posted something. I was going to Kyle's house for the last 2 weeks of prep. Then we head down to Pittsburgh, and it was a treat, man. It was something good. That final week at Kyle's house, getting the train at Iron Revolution was awesome. That is a phenomenal gym. So you guys, if you guys are ever in Jersey, period, especially Central Jersey, I advise anyone to go visit Iron Revolution. Owner Ray has built a crazy facility for all bodybuilders to really get an amazing lift in. So congrats to him for that and everything he's doing there. But it was fun. We took a nice 6-hour drive down to Pittsburgh, which was awesome. That was fun. We just killed it, man. Peak week, we got settled in the Airbnb. And a huge shout out to my best friends, Maria and Danilo. They drove pretty much from Chicago down to Pittsburgh to just be supportive, and to be as much help as possible. So I want to thank them first, because that shit was just absolutely incredible for what they've done and how much support they have, for me and all that, and just how laid back they are as people. I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm super thankful, that God placed them in my life, especially at this time, and I can't wait to just kind of continue our friendship and see what the future holds for all of us, But getting to the peak week, yeah, it was, peak week. Listen, peak week for Pittsburgh, it was completely opposite of, what I used to do in the past. Like pretty insane. We carved up earlier in the week, settled the food down a little later in the week, and then kind of went moderate, the day before the show. And that obviously worked out well. And I drank water throughout the entire time. I'm used to cutting water, starting to cut water like 2-3 days prior to the show. We didn't do any of that. I don't know how much water exactly. Kyle would obviously know all of that, but I'm pretty sure Friday I drank still a total of probably 6 liters of water, where personally I again, I'm not being accurate because I never really kept track, but I feel like in the past, on the day before the show, I maybe drank like, I don't know, maybe 2 liters. So and it was new for me. It was different. So I was like, I listened, obviously, but I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh shit, I never drank this much water. And the whole time, he knows how to mellow me out. He knows how to keep me calm, which is big for me. It's one of the main reasons why, I went and worked with Kyle, because he just has that effect on me that knows how to keep me chill, keep me relaxed, keep me calm, keep me mellow. And yeah, and it's like, I remember I woke up, I remember waking up actually Friday, and I was like, we're going to win this. We're going to win this. And then I woke up Saturday, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. you know, and it just felt like everything was going the way it needed to. Everything, I was feeling good. Workouts, even during peak workouts, were great. We were killing it. We were killing it. You know, and then prejudging happened, you know, and I did exactly what I told Kyle I wanted to do before, you know, as we started working together, you know. I said, we need to shock the world, bro. You know, I said, I can't just come back to the stage and then go, oh yeah, there's Nick again, you know. He looks great. I said, we need to fucking have a package that just blows everything I ever put on stage out the window. Like, it needs to be just jaw-dropping, shocking type stuff. And I think we did that. I wholeheartedly believe we did just that. And I'm grateful. I'm super grateful. I think we killed it. You know, it was obviously very emotional. You know, I was up at prejudging. He beat me at finals. It was a tie. You know, and it went to the tiebreaker, and you know, he got the edge, and that's okay. You know, but I definitely want to talk about the emotions in that moment, because, you know, obviously I didn't really hide it that well, because still, even looking at photos and, you know, everything else, I still believe I won Pittsburgh, bro. I don't think I lost in the slightest bit. And I was very, I was mad. I was very mad. I was very angry. I was very upset. And for a hot second, I did let it get the best of me, which you can't do. You know, that's one thing you can't do. I'm very good at hiding my emotions, you know, until I get back to the hotel or Airbnb, wherever I'm at. But, you know, this time I did let it get the best of me, because, like, I guess for many reasons, like, this was my comeback. Well, not even my comeback. This was just a show I never left. And I believe we proved that. And it was against, you know, the former Arnold Classic champ and a Mr. Olympia winner. And I feel like I beat him. Wholeheartedly, I feel like I beat him. You know, so when I announced his name for first, I was just very angry and disappointed. You know, and I do remember, you know, we got back, and I'm like, I don't know if, you know, I want to compete. You know, I might need a few weeks. Like, this is very disheartening for me. You know, because I'm not, anyone who knows me knows I'm the type of person, I give, like, I truly don't know sometimes how all these guys can compete in like 6-7 shows a year. Because, like, I go all in on a show. Like, I'm like, I don't even know how to talk, but that's I don't even know what words to use. I literally just go all in and push, you know, the cardio as hard as I can. The diet is like, I push and push, and it's like you get to that end point and you're like, I hope I win this, because I don't know if I can do another show. You know, but mentally I was like, I'm gonna need a break. I'm gonna need a few weeks. I know New York's next week, but I don't know. This is not okay for me, you know. And, you know, that night we went to the Cheesecake Factory. You know, I definitely got me some good grub. We went to breakfast the following morning. Definitely ate some good grub. And then, you know, I remember Kyle just texted me. It was like, you know, how you feeling? I'm like, I'm good, man. You know, it's whatever. And he's like, you know what we need to do. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It'd be stupid not to. You know, so I quickly got my head out of my ass, and, you know, when we got back from Pittsburgh back to his house Monday morning, we got right back on it, and I locked in hard. I locked in extremely hard, and I do think I came back better. My back definitely came back better for New York. hamstrings, my glutes were a lot sharper, a lot tighter, a lot leaner. So was my back, I think. And the goal was just to come back better, come back a little bit leaner, come back a little tighter, come back a little drier, fuller. And, I believe I slammed the door shut for that show. I don't want to say, I slammed the door shut in Pittsburgh, but, I believe there was some, for me, right? Just for me, I believe there was some separation there for sure. And these are just my opinions, but I wanted to make sure for New York, there wasn't a doubt, there wasn't a question, and there wasn't, and I just believe me and Kyle did exactly what I envisioned to do for our first show and our second show, and now, we're about 20 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia. We're gonna take a little downtime, I'd say about 4 to 6 weeks. We're just gonna chill, relax, let the body, clear out a little bit. Still train, obviously. I'm not gonna stop training. Not gonna, still gonna stay on top of cardio and whatnot. Just obviously get some good free meals in there. And of course, I gotta head back to Florida probably the next couple of weeks. I want to clear out my place, get everything out there, and find a place in Jersey. And that way I can just go back and forth between Jersey and Vegas. I probably will do majority of the prep here in Jersey and head down to Vegas, maybe like a month early and get all that popping and rocking and rolling. But getting back to New York, yeah, so obviously when they called my name, we made history, so I may have not won Pittsburgh, but I believe I won the crowd again. And then, winning New York for the third time, getting the triple rings, making history that no one has ever done. I now believe everything happens for a reason, and I am thrilled and very thankful that I am able to do that. And as you can see, we got the 3 rings, baby. I will probably be wearing this for the rest of my life. I probably will never take this off. So, we did it, and it feels really good. And I'm trying to let this one sink in. I'm trying to enjoy this one and not worry about the Olympia right now. I'm trying to take a step back and really just enjoy these moments. And I believe I did, I believe I enjoyed the moments, with friends and family, especially during Pittsburgh, especially during New York. And I think that's what separated me this year, is as hardcore as I am, and as tunnel vision as I am, and it takes a lot of separation from people, when it comes to being at this level. You got to be all in, you got to be really selfish. You got to, make those sacrifices when you're at that level, going all the way to the top. It's kind of a requirement, and I think that's what separates me from many, is I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be the best, and the improvements that me and Kyle made together, plus Jared, handling some of the most of all the training stuff, it made a big difference, and I'm thankful for it all. We just made incredibly big strides, but this goes to show, listen, I was counted out, literally. No one even, the comments that I would get, we'll see if he shows up. I bet he backs out 2 weeks. Listen, I see it all. I read it all. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's funny, nobody would ever say it to my face, but I do see it all. And does it bother me? No. But it's just sometimes you just wonder, when's enough? But I use it all as fuel, and most of the time during this prep, I didn't talk no shit. I really just kind of kept to myself and just put the work in and did what I used to do and just posted pictures from the basement, posted some training clips, and just kept my mouth shut. And I just didn't apply any unnecessary pressure on myself, you know? Like, yeah, of course, behind the scenes to my family, to Kyle, I'm like, yo, we're going to win this shit, you know? But I didn't just speak it out loud this time. I kept it quiet because I didn't want to. I wanted to be able to just do my thing, you know? And again, I did that. I achieved that. And I'm very, very happy with the package that we brought to Pittsburgh and New York. It was definitely my leanest, without a doubt. Definitely my biggest, without a doubt. And it's, yeah, I mean, I believe Pittsburgh, I was like 264. And at New York, I was 2 pounds lighter. I was about 262. But we were able to push food a little harder going into the New York one a little bit, so that was cool. I mean, shit, this was like, everything was different. Like, this is my first time, you know, eating cereal as a carb up. You know, we had Chex cereal, and I'm like, you know, and everything was just new and different, you know, and the amount of, we ate, you know, muffins before prejudging, before final, like, we're learning a lot. Well, he's learning now, you know, kind of a lot about my body and what it can do, what does what, which is cool. And I just think that's just going to make for a really good Olympia prep. And I'm excited. I'm really excited for this prep. I think this is probably going to be one of my best preps. Especially, I'm going to basically, like I said, be doing majority of this in Jersey. You know, I'm hoping to get a spot, you know, soon. If not, I don't care. You know, I'll put all my stuff in storage in the meantime and just, you know, prepping my mom's and dad's house. You know, worry about that after the fact. But either way, I'm in it now. You know, I'm back. I just proved that I can hang with the top. I proved I could beat the top. You know what I mean? I proved I can beat the top. So, and I have literally 20 weeks to just get better and improve. And I have zero doubt in my mind that that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, I'm excited. And this just goes to show everyone, like, let people talk. Let people count you out. You just put your head down and go to work, you know, and prove everyone wrong. You know, I always said it's never about proving everyone wrong. You know, it's always about proving your supporters right, that you can do it. But let's be honest, man. Proving people wrong is a great feeling. It is what it is. You know, it's a phenomenal feeling when you shut some people up. They're always gonna find something though, no matter what. But when you can shut people up, it's one of those moments where I can go, "Told you so." You know, so yeah, we're gonna get back to the car talks. I actually really enjoy doing these as kind of a way for me to vent and get things off my chest and feel good, and let you guys hear what I think about a lot of stuff. And we'll probably get some good training in, obviously, as well. So, yeah, man, I'm thrilled, you know. I'm super thrilled. A lot of work has been accomplished, but there's still a lot of work to be done. 3-time New York Pro Champ. Getting ready for the 2025 Mr. Olympia. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm gonna win, but you better believe I'll be in that top 3. Where in that top 3 I'll be? I guess we'll wait and see.